Tell us what the rest of the season has in store for Monique. Oh my God. You guys are going to be like, what the? She has to make a decision. Just tune in, okay? Tune in.
I had no idea. He's just a kid.
My hustle will make up for whatever I'm lacking.
Both of our boys are wrapped up in the streets.
Something happened. We got some people looking out after y'all.
What did you and Demetrius do that requires us to leave our house?
I feel like I'm in prison. When is this gonna be over?
I know you wanted the gateway to Detroit.
Think you're gonna take over the world?
Hell yeah.
Fam, it's your man Vacay-Jay, and today we're going to be covering episode 6, the recap for BMF. And if you're new and you're loving BMF, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Absolutely like, comment below with any theories, any thoughts. We're going to get into this incredible episode 6, and I say incredible because a lot of stuff is coming out, a lot of stuff being revealed. I mean, it's about to go down. So we're going to recap this real quick for you and get right into it. But before we get into it, make sure you check out all my recaps from episode 5, episode 4, 3, 2, and 1, and make sure you're all caught up on BMF. So let's go ahead and break down episode 6. Now, the title of episode 6 is Strictly Business, right? And here's the description. It says, Detroit brothers Demetrius and Terry Flannery become powerful figures in a multi-state drug and money laundering organization. And that's exactly what's going on here. I mean, this episode, I'm telling you right now, no hype, no fluff. Man, this episode was incredible. So let me recap it real quick for you. So you got Big Meech, and he's talking about going way back when he started, way back in the day. You see his old high school picture, right? And he's talking about how, how far he's come, right? It's been a long time, and how he looked back in high school and to turn around to be now in the drug game is definitely a big deal. It's definitely a big deal as you moving forward and finding out how strictly business is, right? Business is business. So he's rolling around the neighborhood, back to present day, rolling around the neighborhood, looking at what's going on, definitely rolling in his Mercedes, saying what's up to the peoples and the whole nine. So he rolls up on the supermarket and he sees these kids out there, right? Sees these kids outside, and, they're like, yo, Meech, yo, buy us a 40. He's like, what? Man, y'all ain't got no hair on your chest. I'm buying y'all some juice, right? So it's all good, right? So then one of the kids, he sees somebody, runs off, and who does he see? When Meech comes out, he sees Lamar right there with the shotgun, right about to shoot him straight up. It's like, what? It's like, oh, right? Meech drops the juice that he bought for the kids. Boom, he starts shooting. Of course, they start running and trying to hide and everything else like that. But guess what? Meech got some backup. Brothers come out, start blasting at Lamar, making sure Meech is all right. He jumps behind the car. He's like, you all right? He's like, yeah. So Lamar starts running. He's like, yeah, you better run. Because Lamar didn't even expect for him to have backup. Meanwhile, back at another stash at the house, you got Meech and Terry. And he talking about how he was telling him how, yo, he tried to take my life, man. Yo, we got to be on point with everything, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure we on point, but we got major deals to make. And we about to make some major moves, so just hold tight. So now we find out that Meech and Terry got a record store, and this is where they do their money laundering. This is where they wash the money. So they take the drug money and they wash it with the money that they make from selling records. So Q is in the record store. He says he was looking for you. He was asking for you, Meech. And they start talking, and Meech is like, yo, we got that good product, man. We definitely got that good product. But Q is like, yo, I put the word out on the street, see what was going on with you. And I see, it wasn't that good. What came back wasn't that good. And Meech is like, yo, my joint is real good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all good. He's like, you know what? I don't think I want to do business with you. And he skates off and he walks out of the record store, right? Meanwhile, back at high school, you got Terry, and Terry's going to, his guidance counselor, whatever. and he's trying to ask him for something, but he's like, listen, you know, all I could do is ask you to help out as far as setting up for this college thing going on. We got a college recruitment thing going on, so come through. So, you know, he's walking out of school with his friend, and, you know, you see right behind Terry, he got one of his goons with him. So there you go. Lamar was trying to get at Terry, but he sees what's going on. He sees there's too many people. He gets frustrated because he's trying to take out Meech and he's trying to take out Terry, and he's failing. Meanwhile, back at the house, you got Lucille, and Lucille is definitely, you know, she's looking at old pictures of the boys. Those are her baby boys, and she's super upset. You know, you got Meech and Nicole at the door trying to get her to come out, trying to talk with her, but she's very upset, very disappointed as to her finding out that both Terry and Meech are selling drugs. She knew Meech was selling drugs, but to find out Terry, you know, was definitely devastating because Terry lied to her and said he wasn't. So she went ahead, took that picture and threw it and said, I don't want to talk to anybody. Threw it on the ground, and Meech walks away. But of course, this is all affecting Nicole. Like, really, it's really traumatizing Nicole. She's really upset that her mom is upset and that everything is just not going too well. Meanwhile, back at the Southwestern Pentecostal Church, you got Pastor Swift, and he's looking at his watch, and he's like, where's this cat at? And guess who walks in the door? That's right, your boy Tiny is coming through with the marijuana in his mouth. And he's like, how many times I got to tell you don't come through with these fast girls and smoking that reefer? And he's like, Pastor, I swear, I ain't doing none of that in here. He's like, listen, there's two things that I smell, and both of them is going to cost you. At the same time, I got to protect my church, right? And understand, it's not just my church. My church is just not a church. It's a big church, right? So he pulls out the money, hands him the money. He's like, okay, the Lord thanks you for that contribution. He's like, I bet he does. I bet he does. So we finding out that Tiny is down with Pastor Swift. Pastor Swift puts his money in his pocket. It looks like your boy Charles brought the church some groceries, but he's like, all I got is $5. So with all that money that Tiny just gave him, he only gives him $5 for bringing some groceries to the church. And he's like, you know, we appreciate everything you're doing. And Charles is like, I'm just doing the work of the Lord. So Charles is getting more involved with trying to help out. Meanwhile, Meech comes through and he's like, yo, something's going on with Mom. We got to go. So they head back to the house. Mom is still in the room. They're having a conversation about everything that's going on. You know, of course, Charles is upset because he's like, yo, what do you guys got us involved in that now we got to leave the house that I built with my bare hands? And they're like, yo, listen, you know, like, you don't live in this house anymore. You're not paying the bills. And, you know, of course, Charles is getting upset like, yo, you going to disrespect me. You know, I built this house with my bare hands, and now you putting us in harm's way. You know, he's definitely talking to Meech and mad at Meech and the whole nine. And Meech's like, yo, I'm just trying to protect the family. I got people looking out for y'all and everything. So he's like, listen, we don't need all that. We didn't need any of this stuff. And he's just real mad at Meech about everything. And of course, Terry as well. Again, Nicole is being affected by all of this, and she's very upset. And he, you know, Terry and them, they just like, man, this is just not good. Mom is not good. Meanwhile, back on the block, you got your boy Slick. And Slick is talking with the 12th Street boys. And, you know, Slick, he always got something slick to say. He making them laugh and all this and that. But there you go. Here come your boy Lamar. And he's talking about, we got to get at Meech. We got to get at Terry and the whole nine. And Tiny's just like, yo, man, we ain't getting at nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? You're not about this business. You messing up our business. It's all about you. And he's like, yo, you want me to get you again? And Tiny's like, nah, it's not going to happen. Pulls out the gun. The rest of them pull out their guns. They letting Lamar know it's not going down. He said, all the OGs, your days are over. It's numbers. We running the show right now. And of course, you know, Tiny, he down with Meech too. So, you know, they ain't trying to go against them. But all of a sudden, of course, police pop up. And you already know who it is. It's your boy, Detective Brian. Then he tells Lamar, go ahead, assume the position. Put your hands on the car. And he's like, yo, there's a lot going on out here. And Slick is like, man, you know, you a dirty cop. And you know you are. And they just talking about how, yeah, you better watch your back. You know, we hearing a lot of things going on the streets. And we seeing what's going on as well. So Detective Brian's letting them know there's a lot going on, and we see what's going on, and it's about to go down. Now, back at the house, Charles is like, yo, What have you gotten us into that now we got to leave our house? You and Meech are causing a whole lot of problems for this family. And of course, Terry, he's not feeling good about any of that. He feels bad about it, but he knows it must go down, right? Meech comes through. He's like, yo, Terry, where you at? And of course, Charles is like, yo, you just walking up in the spot. Like it's your house and the whole nine. But of course, Meech paid the mortgage. He paid $50,000 on that mortgage. So he going to walk in and out that house, no matter how Charles feels about it. You know what I'm saying? Because Charles ain't really paying the bills because they ain't staying there. But he's like, you know what? It is what it is. You're going to do what you want to do. And it's obvious that you're going to do what you want to do. So of course, they're going back and forth with the way they feel about Meech. Now, they in the car talking to Terry, and Meech is like, yo, try to talk to the guy Q, and he don't want to do the deal. He don't want to help us with distribution and everything else like that. So of course, Terry, Meech and Terry, they're trying to find a way to get more, to expand their business, right? To expand their business. So they're formulating a plan to now move away from being the 50 boys and really go to the next level, right? Again, this is the early formulation of BMF. Slick goes back to the house and he's talking to Lamar, right? After that whole incident. Obviously, the 12th Street boys are not down with him anymore. And he's like, yo, they gotta find some way to get at Meech and Terry for doing what they did to me because we lost everything and I can't even talk to Monique and Zoe no more and the whole nine. And he's like, yo, what you gonna do? Slick is like, what you gonna do? He's like, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the same thing they try to do to me. I gotta touch them where it hurts, hit their family out. Of course, Slick is like, yo, that's a good idea, but you already know he's down with Meech too, and he gonna let Meech know. Meanwhile, your boy B, Mickey, and Kato smacking cheeks in the whole nine, acting like they in love. She definitely is playing B, Mickey, but he doesn't even know it. Knocks at the door. She goes and hides. And yeah, it's Terry. Terry shows up to talk to B. Mickey about some business, right? He's like, put on your shirt. You got your bird chest out, right? So he's sitting there saying, listen, man, we're going to be doing a whole lot of bigger things now. And we're going to be given a lot more responsibility. So he gives him a key. It's like, yo, I need you to cook this up. Da-da-da-da. And he's like, okay, I'm going to do what I got to do, man. He say, listen, man, you need to be the man. We're going to give you more. And you can handle your own, you know what I'm saying? And then gives him a couple more bricks. He's like, yo, go ahead and do that, and handle it for yourself. While he's walking out, he sees a jacket on the couch. That's right, it's Kato's jacket. How does he know? Because it got frills on the side of it. He knows that's not B. Mickey's jacket. So she comes out and she's like, oh, you the man now. You the man now, huh? You the man, right? So, she's feeling that too. Meanwhile, back at Monique's house, Lamar is going to Monique's house trying to explain and say, yo, that wasn't my fault. Meech did all of that. And, Monique, she's really not trying to hear. She's like, you know what? I don't want you, Meech. I don't want to be around none of this stuff. All y'all doing is bringing trouble to the house. Get out of my house. She still feel the same way. This guy, Lamar, goes crazy, tries to pull her through the gate. Literally tries to pull her through the gate. She gets away, closes the door, and this guy is banging on the door and everything else like that. He's going nuts. This guy, he's not taking a soft approach anymore. He's just going crazy. Somebody yells. He turns around and looks in the window. Man, and guess who he sees? He sees little Zoe so upset at his behavior, so upset that she can't see him anymore. Just so upset, real disappointed in him, and he just puts his head down and leaves, right? Meanwhile, back at the spot, you got Terry, you got B. Mickey, and you got the whole 50 boys and girl, right? And they're all there, and Terry's like, yo, listen, we doing a new plan, man. We going to give y'all the bag, and y'all going to sell it, for 50 or whatever, but y'all going to do what y'all got to do. Y'all make it happen. We ain't going to give you, a little bit. We going to give you a whole bag, and whatever you bring back, as long as you bring back the right number, go ahead and do it. So Kato, she's like, oh, so we're going to be like independent, contractors. He's like, yeah, something like that. Time goes by, finds out it's 11 o'clock. Terry forgot they got the college fair going on, so he runs to the Southwestern High School for the college fair because, he's thinking about going to college and the whole nine. The guy's like, yo, you're supposed to show up. He's like, yo, I'm sorry. I got caught up with time. So he introduces him to a college recruiter. So he's talking to the college recruiter. They're having a good conversation. The guy's asking him questions, about this, that, and the third. And, Terry's just thinking about things, and, he's giving, the right answers and everything, but he's also having flashbacks. He's asking, like, what do you do? Like, do you have a job? And then he starts flashing back to when they buried Rock, right? So he's looking at his guidance counselor, and he's giving some other answers that sound pretty good, and some real canned answers, like pretty good answer, but then he's still asking questions, and then he's flashing back to when his mom asked him if he's dealing drugs. Then he sees the broken glass, and he's just flashing back to the time when mom found out that he was doing drugs and selling drugs, and she was very, very disappointed. So now he's going through this traumatic experience while he's talking to the recruiter, and he's like, yo, I got to get out of here. It's just not, just not what's going on for me right now. So the guy's like, what's going on? You asked me to set this up. And Terry's like, yo, it's just a lot going on. But the guy's like, yo, just get your head in the game if you really want to go to college. Meanwhile, on the block, you got Tiny and you got Meech, and they're talking about Q coming through the store. But Q, said that he heard something on the street about Meech, and he's not really trying to do business with him. And Meech is like, yo, man, you the one that hooked this up, man. So you got to make it happen, man. If you don't make this happen, then I'm going to have to cut you off as far as the plot. I'm going to have to cut off your water, as they say. Cut off your water. He's like, yo, that's a threat. No, this is what you need to do. Meanwhile, back at the house, you got Lucille. She's sitting in the room. And your boy Charles, he knows how to get out. He's playing some, gospel hymns on his guitar. She's, like, oh, I love it. I love it. So he gets her to come downstairs after he's playing some hymns. And they start talking about Meech and Terry and how they caught up in the streets. Of course, Charles is like, yo, I told you, but, we still have a chance to save Terry as long as we can get Terry away from Meech, and we can get him to go to college and go away and get away from all this stuff. All right, now back on the block, you got Kato and your homeboy right there, and they got the kids out there working, looking out, and they're like, yo, we hungry. So, dude gets mad, and he throws the bag at the kids like, yo, hold this. Kato's like, yo, we need to go get him some food. And he's like, yo, how we going to sell on the block, sell food? She's like, yo, this is all part of the business, part of the game. And now, this kid, he takes the bag, he's looking through the bag, he's seeing all the drugs in the bag. Meanwhile, your boy, Crazy Lamar, I'm calling him Crazy Lamar, he rolls up and says, you need to give up that bag, right? Beats up the kid, takes the bag of drugs, right? Now, back at the spot later on, they find out what's going on. Terry is pissed off because he's like, yo, how you going to lose a whole bag? You know what I'm saying? Y'all left the kid out there with the bag. Like, what are you thinking about? You guys are getting sloppy. And, of course, dude is not feeling what he's saying. They're going back and forth. They're about to start arguing the whole nine again. You know what Terry said. He said he's going to rule us with an iron fist. Kato start talking and all this and that. He said, yo, I thought we was going to be independent contractors. This and the third. But he's like, yo, y'all losing work. If y'all lose work, y'all losing money, and that's money that's not coming back to us. So they argue, who. And Saki's like telling dude, yo, you better calm down. Meech comes in, brings Terry into the kitchen, and like, yo, man, chill. Like, for real. We don't really need to get into all this petty stuff right now. We got bigger deals to settle, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, yo, we just got to make sure we protect it. He's like, don't even worry about none of this stuff. We're going to have bigger deals coming. And Meech is like, listen, I'm already strapped, so you don't got to worry about it, man. We're going to handle this. Don't stress things out, man, because there's bigger things coming down the line, and we don't want you to lose your cool. Don't worry about it, from the womb to the tomb, right? So now back at the house, you got Charles, and Charles is talking to Pastor Swift's niece, who's a lawyer. She's trying to negotiate the deal. So he's saying, listen, we want to take the $25,000. And she's like, yo, I'm sorry to say that deal is off the table. You know what I'm saying? Once we declined it, they are not going to give it to us. So he's like, yo, they not going to give it to us? Why didn't you tell us that? She's like, yeah, I told you that in the beginning. So obviously he forgot. And he's like, yo, how are we going to get involved with this lawyer? And I told you not to get involved with her. Pastor Swift, she's not a good lawyer. Of course, she gets offended. Lucille's trying to talk him down, like, please, just please. And she's like, no, I got to go. I'm done. My office will be sending you a letter to let you know that we will not be representing you anymore. It is what it is. And here we go, your boy Charles, right? With his anger, messing stuff up. There you go. Now, back at B. Mickey's spot, he's cleaning his strap. And she's like, yo, what's up with you and this strap? B. Mickey, he loves the strap. He's like, yo, you take care of the strap. It takes care of us. Anyway, they're talking about their relationship. And, all this and that. And B Mickey's like, yo, what we doing? Are we messing around? Are we getting serious? You know, and she's like, oh, you getting sensitive, da 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 da. And he's like, yo, I just need to know what's going on. So she's like, you know what? Let me just go get some clothes, because if you want me to stay over here, you know, I need to have some clothes or whatever, right? So, boom. Here we go. Nicole comes home with her little friend. He asks her out in his little weird way with his teenage love to be his girlfriend. She says yes. They're about to kiss, and you know who walks in. Big brother walks in. Big brother T walks in the door. He's like, yo, kid, get out of here, you know? And she's like, what's going on? I'm tired of this. You know, I feel like I'm trapped. When is this going to be over? You know, Terry tries to console her and say, listen, it's going to be over soon. Don't worry about it. You know, we're going to go back to the normal life. And that's all Nicole wants. She wants to go back to normal life, just being a kid. But she doesn't believe him. She's just looking at him like this is never going to be over. And then she just walks off because she really doesn't believe him. Now, Slick is back at the house, and he knows what's going on. He heard that, you know, the bag was taken. Lamar took it, so he's looking through the drawers. He finds the bag, and then the work is in there, right? So he's trying to get the bag back to Meech because he doesn't want anything to happen as far as Meech retaliation. He's going through the drawers to find anything, more stuff, and then he hears Lamar singing in the house. He's singing in the house, and he's playing video games at the same time. It's like, yo, what's going on? I didn't know you was here. You know, you singing like, you know, you part of the 5 Heartbeats or something, right? And he's singing an old song. He's like, yo, man, you know, and he's saying something weird. He's just acting real strange, right? Because he's going crazy. And Slick knows that something was about to go down, right? He must have heard him going through the bag. So he's trying to collect everything up, get himself together so he can get out of there. He gets the strap because he's, you know, like, yo, dude is acting weird and I got to be protected. Turn around. He's trying to walk out the door. Lamar's right there, and he jabs him, jigs him in the stomach with the knife. Man, Lamar got at him. Definitely cut him. Definitely got him. You know, Slick is on the floor trying to get away. Lamar is singing. Man, he goes and sits down, and this is the face of a stone cold killer, man. This guy's singing, sitting there, while Slick is right there on the ground, dying right in front of his face. So it's obvious that, you know, he found out that Slick was doing some shady stuff. Now, you got Kato and B Mickey. They going to, you know, Kato's house to get some more clothes or whatever. You know, your boy B Mickey, his nose is wide open, right? So they get inside. She goes into the back. This guy B Mickey's looking through her mail and looking through stuff. You know, he's investigating, just being real nosy. And he finds something real strange. You know, he finds something real weird. We don't see exactly what it is, but he's like, yo, something is going on for me to find this and for her to be hiding it. So, you know what they say. You could tell, you know, who a person is by how they live. So he's looking around, looking at things, and he's looking at the note that he found, right? This note that he found, he's looking at it like, yo, what's going on? So she comes back, and she's like, you ready to go? Da-da-da. She's all smiles and doing some that. And, you know, she kissing on him, this, that, and the third. But meanwhile, he just really is skeptical about things because he found this little note. And we're going to find out what it says later. But he found this little note as to what something was said on it, all right? Now we at the gambling spot. You got Q, you got Meech, you got Tiny, you got the 12th Street Boys, and they gambling. Everybody's having a good time. You know, Shorty's hanging on Tiny, right? You know, everybody is having a good time. It's all smiles. They gambling, they rolling dice. You know, Q is talking to Meech, like, yo, I see you, son, da-da-da-da. And, you know, they all out there getting it in, right? Gambling, drinking, having a good time, you know, doing what they do, you know, doing what they do as hustlers, right? So they all out there, they betting their money, putting their money up on rolling this dice, right? Meech is about to get ready to roll the dice. And, you know, Q hands him the dice like, all right, big time, you ready to roll? You ready to roll this dice? He's like, yeah, no doubt, right? So he's getting ready to roll out. People putting their money down. You got 12th Street Boys, 50 Boys. You got Meech right there, and he's doing his thing. And you know what they doing. You know exactly what they doing. They rolling that dice, right? They rolling that dice, 4, 5, 6. You know what it is, right? So they gambling, putting their money down on the table. Of course, you know, Meech looks like Meech rolls a 6. That's right. Go ahead, give him all that money. He's like, give me all that money, right? So they doing good, having a good time. People making money, putting their money down. And yeah, your boy Tiny, he definitely doing this thing with Shorty in the background, right? He definitely having a good time. So, everything is peace. Everything is love. Like, ain't nobody beefing. They all making money on the block. And Q talks to Meech. He's like, yo, I still didn't change my mind. And he was like, yo, you think you're going to take over the world, man? If we really do this. He's like, yeah, hell yeah, we're going to take over the world. We're going to make big things happen, man. We're going to make big things happen. So Q turns around and said, you know what? All right, let's do some business, man. He sees that Meech is a solid dude. He sees that he's cool. He's like, all right, let's do some business. So they end up agreeing to do some business. Terry comes home, goes to his room. Guess who's in the room? Mom and Dad. Charles and Lucille's like, yo. And Lucille's like, how long have you been dealing drugs with Meech? And he says, yo, since day one, since the beginning. She's like, why you lie to me? Why are you doing this? Like, we make money and, we do what we can. We work real hard. He's like, listen, y'all work 2 jobs and y'all still don't have enough. Me and Meech, we do what we got to do. And we were making way more money than you guys are making, working 2 jobs. And he's like, yo, we've been slaving all this time. And you guys, are putting yourselves at risk. You're putting your life in danger and everything else like that. Like what's going on? And Lucille's like, listen, I can't promise your protection. You going down this road is definitely going to mess you up. It's definitely going to mess you up in the long run, And of course, Charles is like, man, you my baby boy. I'm just trying to save you. He has concerns. He has concerns about everything, right? Now, back at the spot, your boy Tiny's about to smash some cheeks, about to clap some cheeks. It's about to go down back at his spot, right? So they about to get it in and the whole 9. And guess what? Something happens. She feels and she sees some blood. He turns on the light only to see, what do you think he sees? Only to see your boy Slick dead on the back of his couch. So, of course, Lamar is sending a message to Tiny, right? Now, back at the record store, you got Terry, you got Saki, you got the 50 boys, and they talking. And saying, yo, we're going to make this happen. Your girl, Kato, she walks in the door, and she's like, all late or whatever. But she's definitely pissed off about something. We're going to find out what that is. She's pissed off, and we're going to find out exactly what that is, right? So she's looking at B. Mickey like, what the hell, right? So they're talking about now they're changing things up, right? So they definitely going to give them, their own bags or whatever, but they're not going to call themselves 50 Boys no more. We're trying to come up with a name. Meech, of course, comes up with the name and says, yo, how about we just call ourselves the family, right? So they're like, yo, that sound cool. That sound cool. Again, it's the formulation of BMF. So they're going back and forth, talking about the name, talking about everything, and everything seems real good. B. Mickey rolls up on Meech, and he's like, yo, man, like, I'm tired of being the third wheel. Y'all got a whole record store, didn't even tell me about it, man. I'm tired of being out of the loop with things, you know what I'm saying? Like, definitely include me and stuff. He's like, yo, man, we're going to give you a bag. You can do your own thing on the side. You're going to make it more than enough money. Now, of course, Terry and Meech and Terry, they're talking about B. Mickey and everything. He's like, yo, man, we got to watch B. Mickey because I think B. Mickey is smashing Kato. And he's like, yeah, so he figured it out because Terry did see Kato's jacket at B. Mickey's house. So, in the immortal words of Nasir Jones, it ain't hard to tell, right? It ain't hard to tell. They been doing it, right? So she's in the car. She's like, yo, why'd you stand me up? Why don't you not come pick me up? B. Mickey's pissed off and the whole 9. And she just keeps asking questions. He's like, yo, because I found this. You know what I'm saying? What's this all about, right? Stop ducking me in the whole 9. This, that, and the third. So he saw the note. We know who that note is from, right? We know it's from Lamar. But of course, she got to come up with a quick lie, say, oh, that's my ex-boyfriend, ex-drug dealer boyfriend. He keeps sending me notes. He keeps trying to come around. B. Mickey's like, for real? Like, seriously, this, that, and the third. That nigga can get one. So he believes her in the whole 9. And now they just like, yo, she's like, yo, I'm down with you. I'm down with you no matter what, And she's telling him she's down with him. And he's like, yo, I'm tired of just being like third fiddle. And she's like, yo, whatever you want to do, I'm riding with you. So we see what's going down. We'll see what happens with that. Meanwhile, Nicole and her little boyfriend, they walking home from school, and they get a little kiss on, get a little teenage love kiss on. Meanwhile, you got one of the goons definitely looking out for her to protect her, right? So, he ain't tripping, but she's like, yo, why don't we get away? Why don't we run away, right? That's a good idea, but it's not a good idea. So they try to run away from dude. Dude tries to follow them, but, they young. They get away. They go to the side of the road. They try to get a little kiss on. But guess what? Somebody shows up. You know who that is, right? You see that red car. Your boy Lamar comes out of the car and says, yo, there's something going on with your brother. You need to come with me. Tries to kidnap Nicole. Tries to take Nicole, right? The same way he thinks Meech did with Zoe. The young man tries to go after him. And Lamar jigs him, man. Lamar stabs the boy, man. Lamar's breaking all the rules, man. No women and children. The kid falls down. Nicole runs away. He grabs Lamar's leg long enough so she can get around the car and go to the back of the car and run away. He's still holding on. Jigs him another time. People start screaming and yelling because they hear what's going on. She's screaming for her life. Lamar jumps in the car and skates off, man. This guy Lamar, he's doing the most right now. She comes back after he drives away. The boy is down. He's bleeding out in the whole nine. She, of course, is upset. She's like, wake up. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. People are coming. Man, the bodyguard dude finally gets there. They're like, call 911. Man, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look right now. Your boy Lamar's breaking all the rules. And he stabbed the young boy. He's bleeding out. Hopefully, he's still alive. So that's the recap of episode 6 for BMF family. This was a crazy, crazy episode. Your boy Lamar is going nuts, but they are stepping up as far as the business, and this is the early formulation of BMF. So we see they're about to take it to the next level, and absolutely, they got to protect themselves from crazy Lamar, like for real, and also Kato, her being shady as well. So again, give me your thoughts. Drop your thoughts. You know what it is. It's your man, Vacay-Jay. I'm out. Salute.